Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. If you have not seen my videos before, I am officially an IO psychologist and officially a trauma counselor, a child trauma counselor. And so basically my channel started being about grad school, and now I'm not in grad school, so I'm kind of figuring out how I'm shifting. And so it's kind of been why one of the reasons I haven't been putting out videos is because I've kind of run out of ideas and how do I put videos out about my career path now and my journey after graduate school. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an update and then talk a little bit about the importance of networking, which has to do with my update. So I think I mentioned before, I am a trauma counselor now. Before I started working where I work now, I was a general counselor, and I moved into child trauma counseling I moved into my current position probably about 6 months ago. And so I'm building my practice with with a different organization, and I do in-home therapy for children who are in kinship care, so they're being cared for by relative caregivers like an aunt or a grandmother or grandfather, rather than like their biological parents for various reasons, whether that's incarceration or death or just not being able to provide, addictions or anything like that. So I basically provide it's short-term trauma treatment for these kids. But it's a nonprofit, so my position ebbs and flows, you kind of fill in where you need to at a nonprofit organization. It's not my first nonprofit that I've worked in, so I very much know very, very well how you have to kind of fill in the gaps where there are gaps as people's lives change and the organization grows and things like that. So anyways, I finished my dissertation. I'm officially graduated as of the end of December of 2021. So it has been crazy this last month. I've just been trying to catch my breath, I think, because for the last I've been in school for 10 years. 10 years. I've been in school my entire life. So this last month of not having any homework, not having a dissertation, not having a class or a meeting that's related to school, it's been really very strange, and I'm trying to get used to it, but it's very nice. I get to come home and actually clean my house, cook dinner, hang out with my family. I don't have to think about school or homework or anything like that, so it's really nice, but it is very strange. And so I've been trying to just take it easy, relax, and yeah, especially after having a baby last year while I was finishing my dissertation. It was just a lot going on, so I'm just trying to take it, step by step. But it seems the world is not wanting me to take it step by step, because I am getting a lot of networking opportunities after graduating. It's kind of insane. I'm getting a lot of emails, a lot of LinkedIn messages, and things like that, where people just want to connect with me, to talk to me about just a lot of different things, whether that be what was graduate school like, and or how did your dissertation go, or your research was interesting, can I talk to you about it, things like that. So I'm trying to keep all of those doors open. I'm trying to keep communication open and just talk to people and see how I can help, see how we can collaborate, and yeah, so I'm also just trying to do some self-care too, to take things step by step. I very much know the importance of rest, especially as a new mom. So okay, so I finished my dissertation. So speaking of networking, some of these networking opportunities have come about because of internships that I had when I was in graduate school and when I was beginning graduate school. So when I first started graduate school in 2015, I think it was, when I first started then, I did an internship where I was like a curriculum writer for like these psychologists who were starting they had an organization and they were growing it, and they wanted somebody who was going to write content for like their brochures and their ebooks and things like that. So basically learning their methods and then writing about it in a way that regular, people who don't have any psychology background or any science background can understand it. So I started out doing that. I ended up working with them also like after a few months. They actually ended up paying me for my work, and I was freelance, like a freelance curriculum developer, a freelance editor, and then once graduate school really started to like get to be a lot, then I kind of like stepped back from that. But I had reached out to them, just to give them an update about how I'm doing and asked them like how they're doing. And I said I looked at the website and my goodness, it looks like you guys are really engaging a lot of people now. And honestly, I just wanted to give them an update. I didn't think anything really would come of it other than like, oh, it was great to talk to you, thanks for reaching out to us, and yada yada yada, and just touching base. But because of that, and then I had other connections as well, where now I'm like on a leadership team with other psychologists around the world, working on doing a lot of different things. And it's exciting. We want to do classes, we want to do, outreach, networking with people and talking to them about basically positive psychology and mindfulness and things like that. So I'm actually collaborating with other IO psychologists, neuropsychologists, clinical psychologists, therapists, coaches, it's just crazy. So yeah, it's just really exciting to get to do that. So the reason that I want to do this video is because I want to talk about why networking is so important. Like, I wouldn't have those opportunities had I not reached out back in 2015 to apply for an internship, and then connecting with those people over time is also important, because again, they weren't even thinking about me, or maybe they were, I don't know, until I reached out to them. Probably, I think it was last year, I think I did, just to check on them and touch base. So it's really important to do that. It's really important to keep that connection going, just to let them know, hey, I'm still around. And as a matter of fact, that's what I did with my, my current position now. I networked with them, I think I checked in once a year with the organization, and then I found that they were hiring, and then I applied. But yeah, I just kept that open line of communication. And I also did that with another organization that is a team of IO psychologists, and I'm collaborating, and I'm working with or talking to them as well. So, and that's another connection that I made a few years ago, when I first started grad school. So it is important to maintain those connections. And I know people say that a lot, and I've heard it a lot, but I didn't know how important it was until I started getting, people actually engaging and collaborating with me, because I made those connections early on. So one way to stay connected with people and keep in touch is LinkedIn. I use it but I mean, that's probably the main mode of communication I use for networking with businesses and maintaining connections with people that I built a connection with in the past, other than email. I also use email if I have their email address. But yeah, LinkedIn, I use I actually follow organizations on there just to keep tabs on them, see what they're up to, different research that they're doing, and kind of reach out if I'm interested in something, or if I want to learn more about something, or if I know somebody there personally from a previous internship or something like that, then I'll reach out to that person and say, hey, how's it going? Yeah, so it's just crazy how life unfolds. I think that the position that I'm in now, I would not have had if I had not networked in the beginning and maintained those connections, because like I said, I did reach out like on a yearly basis with one of the team members at the organization that I now work at, just to see how they were doing. I helped as an intern create their support group, so I was checking in on their support group, like, hey, how is it going? Have there been any research about the effectiveness? Where are we at? Like, where are you guys at with that? And things like that. So that's really important. So I guess it's just like 2 tips, or maybe 3, I don't know. Maybe it's just 2. So using social media, or LinkedIn specifically, and email to network with organizations, doing internships often, early and often is what I would say, and maintaining those connections throughout the years, because when you are a student and you have graduated, or when you are a graduate student and you are no longer a graduate student, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you've graduated, you're going to need connections. You're not going to need, people don't really care as much about your resume as they do about that last interaction they had with you. How do they remember you? If they remember you as somebody who was a helpful intern, did good work, and now you have your degree, oh great, maybe we can use you again, then that's good, If they remember you from like an open house that you did when they opened a new facility or something like that, and you networked there, like I did that once too, that's great too. Like, there's just so many opportunities. I think with COVID, it's a little bit different because I did a lot of my networking pre-COVID, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different ways to engage virtually. Probably is even easier now because you have webinars and like virtual conferences, and I mean, it's probably easier now. You just click a button and you are in. So those are my tips, and thank you for watching.